Hey YouTube, bit of a change of plan this week. So there might be a bit of a jump in videos next week. So I got a new guitar. Yeah, so here, a Fazley Outlaw series. It's a Maverick Basic HH Blue. I've done nothing to it. I'm pretty sure these are still the original strings that are on it. It's those horrible, funny metal ones that kind of, they feel a bit weird. So it needs strings, but any guitar would have that. Yeah, so currently online just now, this is £85 brand new. In fact, I don't actually know, does that include postage? Do I have a basket to add it to? What happens if I add it to the basket? So includes VAT. Go to basket. I just wonder if it tells you the... I don't have an account or anything like that. £6 delivery, so it's 90 quid. £90, £91. Which doesn't seem like an awful lot for a guitar, does it? How do I get off this? Here we go. Better. No, I was going to read out what it says, but you can look it up if you want. What does it say? Not everybody wants to stick to the beaten track, so Fazley offer up an offset upstart in the form of the Outlaw series Maverick Basic. This dual humbucker loaded guitar boasts an older body, sealed in a hand-rubbed stain, giving every example its own unique look. Fully focused, Maverick fires off full powerful amplified sound, make it sound sidekick for anything pop to indie, to shoegaze and alternative guitar rock. This doesn't seem like a very wide range of things. You know, it's like, oh, you could shoegaze or indie. Like, are these not all the same things? What, played Sabbath on it? Or the Stones? I mean, why not? It's just a... Yeah, basically it's very similar to the Badger that I had before. It was upside down that way though. But the same idea. It's like a Jazzmaster body but Strat sized. So it's Strat scale. As far as a beginner guitar goes, it's like I'm trying to look at it the way as like, say somebody was trying, you know, I was teaching somebody to play guitar and I was like, I've got a guitar, is it any good? And they had something like this, and be like, it's like you look at it and go, oh, I don't know, and then you play it and go, yeah, totally, this is fine. It's a little bit like that Gear for Music bassist. I think it's probably kind of kicking about the same sort of price range. I mean, I think that's a special offer, the £90 thing. I think it was 150 or something like that. At that sort of price, it doesn't seem as good a buy. You know, you're better off for a Squire. But at 90 quid, delivered. Assuming it comes out the box like this, I think it probably will though. But the core principles behind it I'm approving of. I like the finish. I have seen this finish on much more expensive guitars. Obviously you can see it's several, 4 strips of... What did it say? It was alder? Kind of looks like mahogany to me, but there you go. I don't know how well... It says every piece is unique. In other words, the wood's all different coloured because we've not... It costs more money to get specific types of wood as opposed to just get... So basically on the budget conscious thing, kinda like the original idea of the Les Paul Juniors and such things in the Fender Music Master and all that, where they basically make it as simple as they can to make it cheaper. I like this process, especially if you're looking at guitars at the beginner end. I think even if when you start going up a little bit more, you know, up to sort of 200 quid, I would rather have a guitar of this build that they'd spent the money on doing the frets and, you know, better woods, rather than making it a set neck, putting binding in it, all the things that don't make any difference, you know, something like that. You know, it's like, well, that's a bit more of an expensive guitar though. But if you're going to spend time on things, spend it on things that matter. So going back to the old Music Master, I suppose it's cheaper to just mount everything onto one scratch plate. So there you go. Now, I think whether there is actually a proper Fender version of this, I'm not sure. Wayne. Oh, he's bought a big pile of stuff. Yes, I will. I shall reply to him after this video. Yeah, but I mean, beginners have never had it so good. I like this because it's a little bit different. Would I have it over a telly? Well, I don't know. The thing is, it's not. A telly, and just going by look wise, a telly's a little bit fuddy duddy, I suppose. But this is kind of modern and cool, and it's like, does the guy in Slipknot not do this sort of thing with active pickups and this sort of evil looking guitar that wasn't really meant to be evil to start with? But so we've got a very basic. I suppose it doesn't really matter what shape you cut the guitar out to, but we've got a tunematic bridge that's strung through like a Telecaster. That's a good thing. It's also very simple and there's nothing to go wrong with it. It also means you can't have the saddles at stupid adjustment because it's a fixed radius. It's actually a 14-inch radius fingerboard, which is very, let's say, very flat. A Fender's typically 9.5, 10, and a Gibson's about 12 normally. This is 14, so it's like into your shred territory. But I think the thinking there is to make it easier to play, and ultimately, if you're buying your first guitar, it's got to look cool, obviously, but it's got to play well, and this does. I mean, even not plugged in, it's like you're sitting there and you're practicing and stuff like that. It's well loud and it's really nice and airy and bright. I don't know whether that's something to do with this sort of hand rubbed finish, I mean, but it does feel cheap. But it is cheap. But it does feel it. You don't pick this up and immediately go like that. You can tell when these guitars are more expensive. But the other side, you do get guitars that kind of feel good but kind of aren't. A lot of Korean mid-pricey ones where it's like something like that one on the end there, where the money's been spent on making it really shiny and feel good, and I just wish you'd spent a little bit more time on actually assembling it and getting it perfect. So it's got like the necks are sort of slightly powdery. It's not powdery, but an anemic, not very nice looking piece of maple. It's possibly slightly neck heavy, but it weighs so little. I mean, this is going to be a scale breaker. I'm not sure. I can't remember what the lightest guitar I've got. Actually, the lightest guitar I think I ever had, like proper normal guitar, was the 50s Tribute SG. It was ridiculously light, under 3 kilograms. I think this is a danger of being under 3 kilograms as well, which is damn light for a guitar. 2.8. So that's actually what my I've got a Yamaha, what's it called, an RGX A2, which is kind of like it's a hollow bodied thing with balsa wood in the middle, looks like a spaceship, and it's been designed to it's been specifically designed to be light, and it weighs the same as this does. And what they've done with this is just use cheaper wood. Whereas the Yamaha ones, it's like, oh no, we've got a mahogany outer core, then balsa wood middle, and tone tubes and light bulbs and stuff in it. And it's, yeah. But the tuners are decent. It's got this sort of decent, not the cheapy nasty tuners, and they all turn all right. It's like the problem with things like these tuners is you get them on the Chipsons as well, that kind of look like this, but quite often they're fine if you get ones that work, but quite a lot of the time you kind of turn them and they're just crunchy, just like they don't have the manufacturing accuracy. So 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 is just shit. It just doesn't really work. Whereas these all actually turn and work. And tuners don't make any difference to your sound as long as they don't slip. And tuners don't slip ever. I've never come across tuners slipping. It's always the nut that's the problem, or I wrapped the string round it once and it slips. It's like, well, you've only wrapped it round it once, wrap it round it 3 times. Seems pretty obvious. Yeah, so 2 humbuckers, kind of a wee bit like the Squier Mustang. The Squier Mustang, it's quite different to it. It's like a modern version of that. It's just got like a hardtail, but not a tunematic. And then volume tone, the 3-way switches up here. And the outputs on the front, again, make it cheaper than having to drill stuff in there. But yeah, so what am I going to do with it? I don't know. I'll try and stand with it at the side so you can see this kind of petrol blue colour. I've got like Fenders and Gibsons and stuff, all the expensive stuff. So actually having something that's actually making me a bit excited and interesting about it's a plus point immediately. I would not be as excited about a Squire Strat. Strings are a bit dead. Playing through that orange TH30. TH30, I think I said TX. Got a reverb pedal on. This switches at a funny angle, but if you're kind of like the idea of tinkering about with these things, which I do, all you have to do is literally, the switch is going like that, and I want it to be going like that. So basically what you do is like you unbolt, you have to take the scratch plate off to get at it, which is just taking out those screws next time you're changing strings. Unbolt that a little bit, which you have to do to take off the stupid... When they manufacture scratch plates, they come with a plastic coating on them, like to stop them getting scratched. And then they put all the knobs and stuff on it. So what happens in the pickups? But that film's still on it. So when you peel off the film, you always get bits stuck in behind the knobs and stuff like that. It's really annoying. It's one of the first things I do. I can't stand that. I'm trying. You can see the bits of plastic sticking around about where the pickup screws and stuff. Yeah, but I suppose I've got up close. The neck being a little bit white and having pretty much no grain. I assume it's met. It's QC Pass Outlaw Series Maverick HHBU serial number 230053. That makes me think this might be the 53rd one ever made in 2023. Not very many serial numbers, but I mean they'll probably they'll move these things about. You know, I'd imagine they'll bring it out. You know, the options are pretty good to just get put it out with a white scratch plate, or put it out a different colour or whatever. It kind of, to be honest, feel-wise, it feels like I had an Epiphone, a green. It was like this colour but green. You can imagine such a thing when Epiphone just brought out a couple of years ago. They changed the headstock to make it a bit more Gibson-y, and they had one of these an SG in green with P90s in it, and I remember seeing it and going, or a Pelham blue. It's like, I quite like that, but my pal bought a green one, and it's like, so I got a shot of it, and it was basically, the wood was like that. It was that finish to that quality, exactly the same as a £400 Epiphone. The neck felt the same, apart from it was twisted and it was knackered. So I made him send it back. I refused to do any work on it. This one doesn't have those issues. But again, it's that thing. It does. It's a cheap guitar. It sort of feels like one, but it doesn't. I don't think it sounds like one. It doesn't play like one. It plays amazing. It's easy to play. Perhaps the slightly flatter radius actually helps that. But I mean, it's like what you need to be able to do when you're learning the guitar, or just for any guitar. You know, middle position, clean channel. You can play chords. Yeah, that's a very useful thing. Obviously, one distortion. I'll use my £1.82 Delamo distortion pedal. Goes well with it. Try the dirty channel on the amp instead. No reverb now. It's a bit clean. Don't mean sound wise, just like because it's so new. I think because all the guitars I've got, they're all 30, 40 years old, so maybe that thing about me saying it's like, it feels cheap, maybe it just feels new. I mean, the fretboard edges, it's like they're brilliant. That's a little bit more death-inducing than Phil McKnight's using a pair of tights. I don't have tights. You know, to do that, to rub, see if it rips, I would just rubbing my wrist on it. I mean, so it's like, if it's bad, I would possibly die. Yeah. Let's not talk about that in the YouTube comments, because that'll get me demonetized quite quickly, I think. What I'm going to do to it then, so I think, not that I'm finding nothing wrong with these pickups at all. They're totally fine. I would like a coil split in it, so I'm likely to put a switch in. I've been buying these pickups off Temu, £6 and 6p for a set of Seymour Duncan Invader looking pickups. I think they'll look fantastic in this guitar, and a £6 upgrade. The other side of that is these have already got the coil splitting wires in them, so I can put a switch in and maybe a dual coil split or a double coil split. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do. Maybe do that. What about 2 3-way switches, with the middle being humbucker and then the one at the front being inner outer coil or north-south coil of that, and then the other switch being north-south. That'll give you a hell of a lot of options. Too many options. It does sound not bad in the middle for being for your cleanish sort of things. So, bridge pickup. That's a neck pickup, isn't it? Is that the best pickup? Not a huge difference between the two, I'll give them that. Mind you, in saying that, the pickup, I could maybe be adjusted to heights. These are the wee fidgety things, but I mean, I'm doing it just now, I'm assuming it came out the box like this, apart from it probably came out the box like this a year ago with these strings on it. I'm just trying. It's missing a bit of it's a bit mushy. But I bet you that spark pedal sorts it. Exactly. Old strings probably never been tuned. Oh. Not as me playing the wrong notes rather than the guitar being out of tune. So I mean, to be honest, I would put it on the possibilities list. It'd be a good one if you fancy modding things and putting other pickups and stuff in it. But in saying that, there's not really anything inherently that needs to be replaced in this. The 3-way pickup selector's fine. If it had been a blade switch, I would have probably made it so that the middle position was automatic coil splitting, so you had humbucker, and in the middle you had like inner coils or outer coils to get sort of middle Telecaster sound. But I mean, I'd be so tempted to put this above a Strat copper unit. I suppose You're talking about, well, no, not that one. You know, the Yamaha ERG. I mean, it's a completely different beast. You can probably pick one of these up second hand. You can pick one of these up second hand for the same price as one of these new. It's just, this is a better guitar. This has got those £6 Temu pickups in it now, by the way. This is a better guitar. It feels much more expensive. Everything about it's kind of better, but it's a £200 guitar new. This is 100 and something. There is something very uncool about this. This is the best of the ERGs because it's got the black headstock with the gold bits on it, and it looks quite classy. It's just a bit uninteresting. It doesn't have the mojo and the coolness. Mind you, I feel that the Ibanez Roadster RGs have that. Obviously, that one's got the coolness because it's been painted up and stuff like that. But when it's just a colour, it's just it's not really very funky and awesome. Kind of just in the aesthetics. They play amazing, whereas this is cool. You know what I mean? It's very Nirvana, or like, what's that? They say shoegaze and post-punk and all these other things, which I don't really know what they are. As opposed to being, it's not particularly Judas Priest, but that's fine. I don't know, I'm sure. It can Sabbath. Fine. And I'm going for, I think that the market they're kind of going for is the Jim Root. Is it Jim Root from Slipknot? He plays a Telecaster and a jazz mastery type thing, but it's obviously for extremely heavy metal. But figuring you can obviously put different pickups in it. You can put active pickups in it if you wanted. I don't know what they're like, but you get them on Temu, like, and even say EMG on them. So I mean, if you want to use tons again, which I don't, I like the way it's set just now. I suppose the good thing is, another good thing about the Tunematic Bridge is you can do your drop tunings. You know, it's like the kids like to fucking put 14s on it and tune it down to C. This song. I'm actually quite enjoying that Rusty Fuzz pedal. I do actually quite like these stock pickups, are fine. Modern pickups are not shit like they used to be. You used to get in the 80s and 90s and maybe the early 2000s, you used to get shit pickups. Nowadays, they don't make shit pickups. There's no point. I mean, I'm buying those Temu ones at £6. Okay, that's in a special offer, but they're normally like 12 quid, so they're normally £6 each. And they're good. So you just don't really get shit pickups anymore, I don't think. As in ones that don't work. Obviously, you still get better ones. I mean, I'm not saying, the DiMarzios or something like that don't sound better. They do, but not twice as good. And this is is doing a thing. I really found it was quite interesting the way that spark pedal worked when I was on the Dirty channel though. When it was like, on the Dirty channel there is something just missing a little bit from this guitar. Mind you, I could obviously turn the gain down. Yeah, so basically you just turn the gain down and it's... I think that's maybe because the guitar I was using when I turned the gain where it was maybe a lower output. Actually, that's got... So I think basically what this guitar needs is played a lot, and I bet you see if you actually gave this a shot and it was your, played it for 6 months as you played it every day. So I think I bet you it would be amazing after that. It just needs a bit of wear and a bit of life, a bit it needs to have lived a bit. I think I'm going to put those £6 pickups in it just because I've got those pickups. I'll get a video out it and I'll do some coil split wiring. I mean, it's just sitting there, it's like, oh, it's cool. I've never actually owned one, but I had the Badger. The Badger was very similar to this, apart from it was upside down. It was a much more expensive guitar. I think they were about 200 quid. But it had similar sort of... It already had actually those Invader type pickups, and it had a coil split and a push-pull. That was the only thing I was going to change on it. I was like, right... During the video, it's like, yeah, the only thing missing is a coil split, and it's like, I better just check, and it's like, oh, it's already got one. So a coil split would be nice in this, whether it's a push pull or probably just a switch, because a push pull costs £5 and a switch costs £1. Perhaps is it worthwhile having two switches just to make? I suppose the thing with two switches is quite easy to hit. If they're right next to each other, it's quite easy to hit them both at the same time if you really wanted to choose your specific, and that would give you a stupid amount of sounds. Well, you would get 3 sounds and 3 sounds completely independently. So that would be 3 threes or 9. And a lot more than 9 sounds though. I can't remember. I'll remember how to work it out. I think you use is it 9 factorial, 9 times 8 times 7 times... No, it's not as much as that. Oh well. I'm sure it's more than 9. Maybe it is only 9. No, it's because I'm sure it's 7 you get out of my Telecaster, and it's basically just a coil split. Whereas this has got a choice of either one, so you've got 7 sounds just using the north coils, and then another 3. Yeah. Or I might not do that. I kind of don't want to do anything painty wise because I quite like it. I like its elegant simplicity, and the fact it's made of nice woods, and it's like it's one of those things, you know, when you've got the nice wood like my burrow walnut corker, it's like, oh, look at the wood and stuff like that up here. Yeah, it's a really expensive piece. This is not a really expensive piece, but it's still a really nice piece of wood. Kind of, I think that this finish is maybe to make it cheaper. I did that with Gibsons and stuff like that, but I'm happy with it. I'm not, and especially seeing as it looks good. If it had just been brown, you know, maybe not, but because it's this cool petrol-y blue, kind of a wee bit like, is it Pelham blue, sort of, apart from it's see-through. I just think maybe single coil sounds would be good. I could put 3 of those pickups in it and do something stupid. It's like a blank canvas in it. And at this price and at this range, assuming I had just bought it for 75, 80 quid, whatever it was, you're not really going to damage it by upgrading it. It's like, oh, keep it original, so you can do whatever you want with it. But I wouldn't change the tuners; they're fine. I would. I'm going to oil the fingerboard. It's a little bit dry, but that's something you can buy. You just buy linseed oil or Daddario lemon oil or something. You know, one of these packs off eBay for £5 with a polishing cloth and do that. The frets are good. I've not noticed any buzzing anywhere. and they're really smooth. So I'll give them a quick wheek with the fret rubber, which is a great thing. I don't know where Wayne got it, but I've got this. When you cap the board, get the wire rule out and the wee fretboard protectors. Wayne gave me this rubber, which you just kind of when you take the strings off, you just go and it just makes them shiny. It's like pure, and it takes like 20 seconds. If you spend 20, it only has to take 10 seconds. I'm going to maybe raise this pickup up a little bit. I'll probably just put those £6 ones in it, just for the sake of it, and then I'll put in a color split switch, just for the sake of it, see if it makes any difference. What it needs, basically, is if I had bought this and I was just starting out, I would definitely move that switch. The thing is, you would probably get used to it, the fact that it's the wrong way around, but basically the switch just spins in the back, so all you have to do is undo that bolt a little bit and then physically just rotate the switch around to make it go like that, which is what you want, not like this. And I'd put new strings on it. That's it. I mean, the nut is reasonably well cut. The truss rod, I don't know if it works or not, it's a bit flat. It could do it. I will do a little bit of fidget with it. The thing is, it plays really well and it's fine right now. The action's at a reasonable amount. It's not one of those ones, oh, I need to sort that, so it's maybe slightly high. I do find it much easier to use one of these gauges to find the action rather than actually just trying to judge it myself. The action's great. 1.5 mil is exactly where I would have put it. The action's exactly what I want. And then it's got the headstock, which is, it's got enough of what you can do is you can draw around like a can, is that the right diameter? Draw around that to get the curved edge and then sand it down to make it a fender shape, or very nearly a fender shape. I don't really dislike that one very much. What was the guitars I was watching earlier on? Sire Telecasters. I don't like that headstock shape. It's a no-go. I don't think that's a no-go. It's alright, it's just kind of, it's maybe a little bit getting towards the Thunderbird, which kind of goes with the Firebird. It's not really a Firebird, is it? It kind of is a Firebird. And you've got that. Wonder if that makes a difference. So it's like, I have seen people put pickups in below there, so they can. It's almost in tune. That one's out. They didn't really work, but you've got those three notes kind of. There's a chord. It's a G. Probably better without that. Yeah, see? It's very difficult to pick behind the bridge and in front of the bridge alternately. It's not the alternate picking I've learnt. That's quite cool. I wonder if that's to give it more of the. I've talked to my pal about this. It's quite strange. It doesn't have like the stop tail, and I said, oh, maybe the stop tail is actually cheaper to do it this way. But because like for the physical price of the stop tail, but you've got like 6 ferrules in the back. Okay, they're really cheap. You've also got 6 different ones on the front, and you've got to drill the holes in a straight line. So it's not that easy. But I think now that I'm thinking about it, it's so that it's to make it more Jazzmastery, Jaguar-y, because obviously a Jaguar's got like some crazy trem here, but it does have this extended, these sympathetic, whatever you call them, annoying strings. Yeah, so In conclusion, I reckon you could do an awful lot worse than buying these. I like it. I suppose returns on your money wise, people are obviously, if you're trying to sell this immediately, they're going to they'll look it up, say, oh, I knew it's only 70 quid, it must be pure shit. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. There's definitely a lot of guitars that aren't as good as this kicking about. I'm even thinking if you're just taking random pot shots in Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace, you don't really know exactly what it is you're looking for. There's a lot of opportunities for you to buy a guitar that costs more than this 90 quid, and a guitar's not as good as this. Just put it that way. There's a lot of that there. You buy one that looks good. Oh, look, it's a Harley Benton. Oh, and it's like. But this isn't pretending to be anything else. This is just pretending to be a music master. A music master, really. And the middle position is fine. It doesn't need all that coil splitting stuff. I'm just going to do it because I'm a loony. And being really light's always a good thing. You especially notice that, I suppose being a beginner, you don't think about these things, but I remember walking around to my pal's house, Robert, who lived, I don't know, probably only about 500 yards away or something like that, and having to carry my guitar around all the time, and it was just get a lighter one, it makes it easier to do these things. I do remember when I got my 30 watt Laney amp, and I was walking it around to his house, and it was like, oh, and then I got kind of to the gate, I got another couple of yards, and I swapped to my left hand, and it was a couple of yards, and then it was like 100 yards on my right hand and 100 yards on my left hand, and by the time I got to his house, it was like I was swapping hands because both hands were getting sore. So an amp does become quite long if you've got to walk half a mile with it. Quite heavy. So yeah, all plans for this week out the window. New thing coming up. I'm going to wait until I've got a better audio system thing going, miking stuff up and all that before I do other reviews. I'm looking forward to having a wee shot of that Orange Terror. Rock on.